Hi everyone and welcome to Make Way for Noddy. I am Noddy and this is my newest tutorial where I'm gonna show you all the steps that I've taken to make this painting called That Day Was Magic, and what I've learned, what I'm gonna improve or what I need to improve, the tutorials I followed, the tutorials I'm gonna follow, tips and tricks and things like that. Now it's only a Procreate walkthrough, so it's not gonna be super detailed, but it's gonna be very similar to the last one I've made of my painting Lost in Thoughts. And for all the subscribers that subscribed to that painting, thank you so much from the heart. I really appreciate it, and because you liked it, this is going to be very similar to that one. And for all the new viewers, thank you so much for coming. Again, I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please comment, like, and subscribe as well. But comment, guys! Honestly, I don't have any comments on my videos, and I know it's because I'm not really anything famous. But either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts, what I can improve or not. And I can only do it if you actually, comment on my videos. And that's basically it. On to the painting. Alright, so as you should probably know, I'm absolutely terrible at organizing and making my things look pretty and neat and all beautiful, so this is more or less my desk. I don't paint at my desk, I don't do anything at my desk, this is a dump thing, and I'm basically here just to try and show you more or less in a straight plane. So I've got Procreate open here with the picture, yay! And this is something I took recently from watching Ergo Josh videos, so we recommended this app. Gosh, I don't really need a pencil. This app for references. It's called VizRef, and I'll include links below for both Ergo Josh videos, YouTube channel. I'm sure you know it, but I'll include it anyway because I love the videos. And I'll include also the link for this app. I don't get any money from it, I'm just recommending it. So I paid for this, and it's actually, you know what, I actually quite enjoyed it. So I put all the pictures together here, and then I can just paint using this as a reference, and I can make it as big or as small as I need it. So that's what I've got here. And in terms of layers, I actually did check, oh my gosh, yes. So I make a mess out of layers, guys. I make a mess out of them. But basically, I've put the colors in one place. This is my signature. This is some shadows at the top. All right, let me stop this. Whee! Right. I've got some shadows in the top. I've got some, this is this shadow here that you can see that I thought you'd get, get her a bit more into the mist. This is some secondary light source. This is the little lighty things. This is the whole picture together. However, I've got the whole, I can actually sort of show you which part, but I don't have the shadows, so it's just the normal, the whole thing's together. So I've got the line art separated here, as I said I would. I won't do that again. And I've got all the clothes, hair and skin separated. That's how I painted it. But I did put layers on top of each other, and then I merged them all together at the end. So that's the group, and this is the background, and this is my initial sketch, which you'll see anyway, so I don't really need to show you. Right, so that's the setup I did for this painting. And guys, please also don't forget my Instagram. Okay, so I wanted to do a quick reminder, and I didn't feel like stopping to film with my iPhone to get this shooting. Don't forget to watch me on DeviantArt and Instagram. So on my DeviantArt, I've got all the pictures, including the old ones that I've had for ages. And on my Instagram, I've got all the new pictures that I've done, even some that are not on DeviantArt. And obviously, I still put everything else in there. I've got my bar trainings and all of these sorts. But if you could give it a like, I wouldn't mind it. And that's basically it. Anyway, let's move on to the painting itself. So yay! I love the start of Procreate videos. They all start with the end picture, which is amazing because it looks so much better than my sketch. So yeah, this is me sketching, the pictures I was trying to achieve or drawing together, and this is more or less what I got. I wasn't happy with the head until way later on in this, But this is just me sketching, trying to get a braid done. I'm not good at braids, not even on my own hair, but definitely not in sketching it either. Although I did learn a little trick, which is doing like a zigzag in the middle and then just going outwards, which, you know, worked. Anyway, I do recommend you guys to flip the canvas horizontally from one side to the other to make sure everything's right. I do it. It doesn't show here on the videos, but I do it very, very often. It still doesn't help me when the anatomy is wrong, to be honest. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But you know what? It helps. So give it a try. Most of the times I end up only finding out, you know, especially on the face, problems on the face that I couldn't find before when I'm painting the picture, which is usually too late by then, but it works. At least I try. Anyway, as usual, trying to pen inking my line art. It's way faster than the time that I get doing my sketch. Here for the coloring, I'm gonna do a little bit of a pause. Okay, so I have to make a pause because I need to go through everything, because again, the sketching is probably the part that takes me the longest, and then everything else is a little bit quicker. So Procreate does not give me enough time to actually go through what I'm doing. So, for the coloring process, what I wanted to achieve was painting on grayscale. That's what I decided after I did Lost in Thoughts. However, when I started this picture, I didn't know, you know, there's a lot of shades of gray. not like the movie, but there are a lot of shades of gray. And that was, I had no idea how to, you know, what to achieve, what to start with. So what I did was getting the colors that I had picked, and I ended up putting everything, you know, the colors, like the hair, I wanted it pink, so I put it in pink. And then when I colored it, I transformed it into a gray, so I took all the saturation from it until it was gray. So that's what I did. And, you know, it seems like I spent a lot of time doing that, but actually I think it was actually a good decision. I am quite happy with how it turned out. So to be honest, that's what I'm doing again for my next painting. Although I'm following a different tutorial and a different perspective, I actually quite enjoyed it. So on this painting that I'm doing now as well, I picked the colors that I wanted. I got all the parts filled with the colors, and then that even helps me with the selection. So when I'm doing the shading later on, I can just pick the colors to get the selection I want, and then only shade on those, you know, within that selection. So I thought that was helpful, and I'm doing it more or less again. So it's not completely the same, slightly different, but is similar. And for this video, I used an ErgoJosh tutorial on coloring, which basically means I used some different modes, layer modes to color. So again, I started with a layer in as a grayscale, and then I will add color. So I add a different layer on top on color mode, add the shade of color that I want, which will translate it, and then later on I will add another layer for the highlights, which is the ones I used before. So an add layer for highlights and a multiply layer for the shadows. That's what I did before, and I'm keeping the same. So from ErgoJosh, the only thing that I used was the color layer mode that I actually didn't know before, so that was fun. And the linear burn for giving some skin tones or some shading tones. So what I did, for example, when I painted the skin, it was very flat even with the shadows, so I then added some violet around the chin and neck, some red tones around the cheeks, and then some yellow tones around the forehead. So that's basically what I did from ErgoJosh. That's what I got from him. I enjoy it, I like it. I will probably repeat this in the future. I still use the hue, saturation and brightness mode to change the colors and saturation things according to what I like at the moment. And I will always do that in the future because, guys, I don't know how some people can get the color they want from the start, but I definitely can't, and I just keep changing my mind until the end. So that's it. That's what I wanted to say for this part. I will stop again very, very soon. See you later. So now you know what I was trying to achieve here, and hopefully it will be easier to explain. So what I'm doing is getting all the selections right. So I painted the skin in a layer, and then I painted the hair in a different layer. And to be honest, I I don't like having too many layers. It really messes up with my OCD, but it is good to get all the selections. And then I think on this project that I'm doing now, I'm just joining them together after I get the selection saved. So for each selection, for each area, I added several layers for the shadows, and I just merged them together later on. And I'm just doing the face shadows. You just have to imagine you are the light and imagine what you see from that light. In this case, obviously, I had some sort of references that I was following. It's not perfect. I mean, there's a lot to learn always, but it works, and having references helps, so never say no to references. So in here I added the color mode, and then I added the linear burn mode. I added those shading that you saw there. It's not perfect. I didn't really like it until later on, but with the hue saturation thing, I did get a skin tone that I actually liked later on. The eyes I did exactly as I did before, by the way, so no changes. From a very dark blue, I added a tiny, some light gray to the white of the eyes, and then colored the high pupil iris. Gosh, I feel, lack of words for it. But yeah, the eyes was fairly easy. And then I used the liquefying tool, guys. Great tool, that one. Liquefying tool, amazing to change little things to make it look better. So I used it to change the face, and then I just filled in the blanks that came from there. Like I said, I only find the bad things in anatomy after I painted. And as of now, I already like the skin tone a lot more. It looks a bit more alive. So here I'm trying to do the air, and honestly, I overdid it, and I was almost gonna give up on this painting. Almost gonna give up. I was trying to do too many details. If there's something I learned from this painting, is that I need to go more broad on my next hair. And maybe I'll do a little tutorial later on saying the brushes that I use. I do use different brushes for the hair, and I did change what brush I prefer for the hair on this picture. I was trying to use the same one that I used before, and for straight hair it worked well. For this one, it did not. So I changed the brushes, and I'm quite happy with the look I got in the end. But I think that I still have to, try more, do more paintings. I don't think my hair painting procedure is good yet. I'm not quite happy with it. Either way, I'm doing it again in grayscale, adding the shadows. So just some general shadows first, then the detailed hairs, and then more shadows, darker shadows, and then I'll do the highlights, like broad light highlights, and then some more detailed highlights. That's basically my process for everything. Actually, not for everything, for the hair and face, basically. For the clothes on this one, I use a different way. So this is how it turned initially. I did change, and I did also add some linear burn layers to this to change slightly the color. So again, some purplish for the shadows, and some yellowish closer to where the light source was from. And I thought that gave quite a nice, it made the hair look more alive. I really enjoyed how it came out. So in here, amazing, I started with a very, very dark gray, and then I only added the highlights, and it just made my life so much easier for the clothes. I know it's not perfect, but you know what? It does the trick. Easy. I'm gonna do this more often. And again, color mode to give some shadows, linear burn. Beautiful. Actually, not color mode, just linear burn. So here I'm just adding some details, and I'm thinking on what the hell I'm gonna do with the background, because backgrounds are my worst enemy. I don't know if it's the same with you guys, but for me it's my worst enemy. So I think I took a little bit here, trying to decide what kind of background I'm gonna use, and just adding some details. Again, like, can you see the hair? I added that yellowish tint to the hair. And this is just me, again, trying to figure this out. I hated this. I was just looking, and I knew I wanted something blue and pink for the background, and I just couldn't figure out what. And then I just got the picture of some clouds, and I got them all blurry, so you can't really understand what they are. And see? Picture. Pink clouds. Blue. Perfect. Blurry. And then I just added a couple of things that I wanted to add, so some magic. So she became magic. I didn't want her to be magical until here. I added some texture, again using Procreate texture brushes, so nothing special. Added some highlights, some secondary highlights as well. I'm not good with those and I definitely want to improve on those. Getting a bit more life to that skin tone again, so I changed the nose a little bit because I like red noses. I don't know why. I don't like my characters to be drunk. The fog in the back, and that's it. Okay, so a couple more things that I wanted to add before I wrap all of this up. So when I said that I added the darkest color first and then only the highlights for the clothing, I really enjoyed this method. It was very simple, and I also learned this from a professional artist. However, the tutorial that I'm doing now, that I'm following now, well, not really following completely, but the one that I got some tips to try now is slightly different to it. I'm gonna try it, but I might go back to just doing darkest first and then just the highlights. It does make things a lot easier. And of course, since I'm talking about the tutorial that I'm following now, I should tell you what tutorial I'm following now. So I'm following some broad tips that Mark Brunett says on these videos. So I'm gonna put again the link below because, you know, obvious. But basically, I really like how professional his paintings look, and I really like how, I don't know, the way he does his paintings it's just professional. So he divides it, his last tutorial basically divides the painting in three parts. So you get the line art ready, and to a point that is ready to just show to the person who's buying it from you. It's ready. If the person just wanted the line art, that would be it. And then you do the same with some colors, in the sense that you can do like a cartoonish style. So you just put the flat colors, then you add the shadows, you get them together, and it already does quite a good cartoonish, you know, look. And then in the end you can add more 3 dimensions and lights, and you know, make it a bit more I don't know, professional, more complicated. Let's go with complicated. I like that. Anyway, I thought this process was very, very good, so I'm gonna try it. Of course, I'm gonna add my own je ne sais quoi to it, so follow what I liked from my previous techniques, which I'm pretty sure they're gonna include the color blend mode, the add highlights, and the multiply for the shadows, etc. And obviously the hue, saturation, brightness changeroo, so I could just change it to the colors that I like. And I'm just gonna see if I'm missing anything below. Oh yes, very important thing that I keep forgetting to mention, you guys. I do edit my pictures after I make them on Procreate. Okay, so I use 2 apps. One was also advised by Ergo Josh, which is called Ultralight, and the other is Snapseed, which I use for my pictures as well, because, you know, I want to look pretty. So I use them both to edit my paintings. In the end, I go to the 2 of them, yeah, and I just look for combinations that it makes it look prettier. So the end result that you see on Procreate video is not the end result. The end result is what you see on the beginning of this video, and what you also see on Instagram or DeviantArt, etc. So I hope you follow me then. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you want anything else, if you want me to, you know, show you something in concrete or something you struggle with, please comment below and I'll try my best to answer you guys. I'm not a professional, but you know what? I'm here to help. I think everyone deserves a chance, or a second chance, or a third chance. I don't know how many chances I've taken so far on this. Either way, see you on the next one. Bye bye!